Hello and welcome to Talk of Better Worlds. This is podcast number 2. My name is SirFelixTheCat. With me I have Hawk. Today we
Hello.
are going to talk about some post-apocalyptic IPs. So to get started, Hawk, how are you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Not bad. What have you been up to this past week?
I've been playing more New Vegas. Starting to maybe think about playing Fallout 3. Still on the Fallout streak. A little bit of a World War II streak going on too. Putting together that NCR video and planning a video actually about like a list video about some IPs with lore and stuff like that. Best lore IPs.
Nice. I've been playing a wonderful game called Biomutant, but not the one on PS4 because that one is junk. I've been playing the beautiful one on Switch because everybody knows that's just the best console ever. Such a powerhouse. I mean, its graphics just blow everything away. PC can't even compete with it.
It has more teraflops than Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it has teraflops, gigaflops, megaflops, all of it. It's just the biggest flop maker ever.
It's for all your floppy needs.
So, to get into IPs about the post-apocalypse, what is your favorite, and which one would you like to live in?
That's a very hard question.
I mean, especially with the whole like to live in, I guess you can't like to live in one. Which one would you, out of all of them, would you probably prefer for like the least worst case scenario?
After thinking about it, I think it's the Horizon post-apocalypse, the Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn, because it's pretty bleak, and the way humanity went out, spoiler alert, I guess, the way humanity went out is horrific, probably one of the most like nightmare-inducing scenarios I've ever seen in a game or IP, and pretty unique, I think, too. It's a unique spin on a traditional apocalypse, I guess. But there's a lot of hope in the world by the time you're playing the game. It's bleak, it's bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as a lot of other post-apocalypse IPs that I've read or played or seen or anything. So I think Horizon would be where I'd want to go.
All right. I am going to stick to books for this one. The two that I have picked, I mean, it's tough. I would like to say On the Beach. It is a book by Neville Shute. Wonderful book, decent movie that's kind of like the book in a way. But yeah, I mean, it's basically a story about nukes went off everywhere. There was the nuclear war, and basically radiation has killed most of the northern hemisphere, and radiation slowly creeping down to Australia, and it focuses on a family that lives there and basically their final days, like how they're coping with the fact that, soon they're going to be dead. Which
that's cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. But the other one is The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
Also a movie with the king, so we can't forget him, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's a wonderful one. Very happy, it's bright and sunshiny and it's great. They have this nice winter happening. It's snowing a little bit. Yeah, it's probably the darkest post-apocalypse thing I can think of, but it's the most realistic. And might as well just stick with that. Because, I mean, On the Beach would be cool because you're still alive, but you're looking at your death. You're just having to cope with it. But The Road, you're just trying to survive. I mean, that's probably better than having to worry about, I'm going to die soon.
Yeah, I think having to look down the barrel of inevitability is a little bit worse than still having hope that tomorrow might come, even though it probably won't.
Yeah,
I think that's just it's a fine line dividing those two, but I would rather have that shred of hope and expect not to have it than know it's not coming.
And now, since BC isn't here, I'm going to throw one out in his part because he's a big comic book fan. There was an episode of I'm not sure if it was just Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, but it was called Legends. And in that one, they kind of went to a post-apocalyptic world. They were sent somewhere, like I believe it was in the past, but the whole area was mind controlled by this person. And it made them see the Justice Guild, which is a play off of the old Justice Society, which came before the Justice League. But yeah, that one was pretty cool because it's like some Twilight Zone essence in a way, where they're actually in a torn up world. It's all rocks and destruction, but what they see is a nice little town. There's people, there's a milkman waving at them, the mailman's there, and all this. And yeah, they were just having to simply save the day. Like, oh, the bank's being robbed. Let's all team up and stop the robbers. It was just,
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was a cool little thing, and it was I believe the kid who was controlling it, or the person who was controlling it, they were big fans of the Justice Guild comics, and the only reason, yeah, because the Justice Guild in their world is comic books, but
Okay.
yeah, it was I believe Green Lantern was the one who remembered the comic books because he used to read them as a kid, so he kind of figured out what was going on, couldn't understand why he was seeing what he knows as fiction. Yeah, it was a pretty dope world, and it was beautiful to see the end and see like how terrible it actually was in that situation once the mirage was lifted.
It sounds worth checking out. I always like that mirage kind of deal. Like having played Fallout a lot, like a lot lately. Think of like Tranquility Lane, I think it was, in one of the vaults in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Where you pick up your dad there. It's the people all in pods who think they're living in some nice pre-war place, but they're just in a hole in the ground after the world ended, and they're the experiment of some insane doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wonderful vault.
Yeah, probably one of the better
ones.
Down. Yeah, do the Chinese program.
Yeah.
Yeah, still one of the better vaults, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that Justice League episode, what's crazy is if you go on Google and look up the Justice League and go through all the episodes, it's not there. I have no clue why. It's I had to look up somebody else's video, and this guy did a whole breakdown because somebody posted a fake commercial, like fake preview for the episode, and changing some of the characters. Like they put in the original Green Lantern instead of Green Defender or whatever his name was. And they put in instead of Catman or something dumb like that, which is the canon one, they put in, oh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in Brave and the Bold, and he had, in that story, he had trained Bruce a little bit in fighting, which was kind of cool. But
okay.
Yeah, I went through there just to confirm I'm not crazy, and that episode did actually exist, a 2-part episode. Yeah, it's episode 17 and 18, and it's just nowhere to be found.
I wonder why. Maybe was there like something in there that I guess would be considered offensive today or something? Did they just like nuke it or?
It shouldn't be. I mean, I don't think it's a Disney situation where it's just like, no, what are you talking about? This never happened.
Yeah, just wave the wand and it disappears.
Yeah. It's like I was watching some clip about they changed Lilo and Stitch. And apparently I never watched the movie, but apparently she, in the original version, she hides inside a washing machine.
Yep. And
then on the re-release, they change it into like just a cabinet because safety. You don't want a kid to be like, oh, yeah, I can just hide in the washing machine. And then, bad things happen.
Yeah, that's definitely for safety reasons. Because, so, I mean, in the age of the Tide Pod challenge, you're going to see some kid see that and then actually try to go into a washer or dryer, and then, fun stuff happens.
Let me ask you a controversial question. This is one I was thinking of earlier. So for post-apocalyptic worlds, if you read the Bible, would you consider Earth post-apocalyptic since the Great Flood happened and that kind of wiped out most of humanity?
Yeah, actually, I guess, I mean, by definition, we had, according to the Bible, whatever, we had an apocalypse with the flood. And now that we are beyond that, I just think it's like so far beyond that we've rebuilt, Yeah. Like it doesn't feel like a post-apocalypse because it would have happened so long ago, if it happened, But yeah, I mean, I bet by like hard definition, I would say that fits. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of that earlier. Just trying to think of the best post-apocalyptic world. It's like, hey, Earth. I mean, we're already there.
The best is a strong word.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, we're talking about better worlds, but this is the best world. Everybody knows that. We're in the best timeline. Everything's fine. It's beautiful.
Yep. It's all good.
Let's get on Twitter and TikTok and let's talk about how great the world is.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
We are doing great.
Yep. Yeah, every country is just thriving right now. Peace and
Yeah.
prosperity.
Literally, not a single war, nothing wrong.
Yeah,
Everybody has money.
everybody's getting along.
Yeah.
Friendship everywhere.
Friendship, yeah. A minor disagreement, maybe here or there. uh,
All right. So,
I mean, technically, Earth would be like post-apocalyptic times 4 or 5 at this point.
yeah. Well, I mean, like off air, we were talking about Portia, like my time in Portia or Portia or whatever the heck the game's called.
Portia.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic and it doesn't look like it. If you go to the town, you really wouldn't think like, hey, this is post-apocalyptic. It's more of just like, hey, it's kind of weird outside, but you know, everything's normal. We can grow plants. We drive around town if we want.
Yeah. There's a lot of like IPs and mostly games that are technically post-apocalyptic that just don't kind of don't seem it.
Yeah.
Or they have like little hints and things here and there that indicate they're post-apocalyptic, like or you could stretch post-apocalyptic, like Pacific Drive, actually, the game that technically that is post-apocalypse. It's not a world apocalypse as far as I know, but you are in an area that has been apocalyptically destroyed effectively, and warped. But yeah, then like Frostpunk actually is another one that everything is basically wiped away. You know, the reminders of the world before are just buried in snow. So it's easy to kind of forget that, you know, outside of the fact that it's the allegedly the last city left on the planet, that an apocalypse happened.
Yeah, it could be like that. What was that game? Surviving the Aftermath or whatever it was that came out like a couple years ago. The Paradox game. That one was clearly post-apocalyptic, but it also felt like you were back in the days of the bubonic plague and whatnot, which was really bizarre. It was a combination of everything, but that one is that's actually probably a world I'd rather live in. It was nice. It showed teamwork. I like that.
Yeah, at least like civilization has somewhat of a chance at that point.
And everybody worked, unlike every other game you play where if you're in a post-apocalyptic world, there's only one person in the whole world doing work.
Yeah, you.
Yep. Yeah, playing Biomutant, that's what I'm noticing, is like everybody's like, oh yeah, we're going to team up and do this stuff together. I go to like raid a fort or something like that. I turn around and I am by myself. Like I watched the video, 12 of us ran in, but I'm just there by myself. Yeah.
So that's why of the Fallout games, I love Fallout New Vegas the most, I think, because even though it's limited by its like technical, it has technical limitations because of when it was made and because they had a year to make it and because the engine they made it on, it's a Bethesda engine.
So it's the best thing ever?
It's best thing ever, works flawlessly. No, but they, for what they had, they made a world that feels like, yes, you become the hero in it or the villain, absolutely, but you could clearly tell that there are 2, 3, you could argue 4 or 5 factions that are really doing things in this world. The 2 minimum, the NCR and the Legion, and the way they talk about the greater world, the states around, you know, California and Nevada. It really feels like you're not the only one doing stuff. You've just kind of been dropped into this world where a lot of stuff has been done and is being done, and you're going to change it one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have the Nightkin. I mean, that little camp. They are kind of doing stuff, just slower and in their own way.
Jacobstown, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that era. I mean, I like the callback to the old Fallout games there too.
Yeah.
But you have little enclaves like that, I mean, for lack of a better word, little groups like that all over the place who are trying to do their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a game I need to go back to. I was thinking about hooking up my PS3 just to go back to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Since they refused to give it to me on PS4, and I don't know if it's going to be on PS5. Probably not.
No, I doubt it.
Why give us what we want?
absolutely worth going back to. If I didn't have a PC, if I had nothing but like an old PS4 or whatever, what PS3, whatever, anything, um, I would be playing that game still. Unmodded, it's you know, frustrating at times, let's say, to work with, but it's still absolutely worth playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also been wanting to go back to 3. 3 that was actually the game I was thinking about unplugging, like bringing the PS3 down here for, was just to play
Mhm.
Fallout 3. It's needed. I want to see Megaton
Yeah.
again. I want to just walk up and, for the fun of it, just shoot the nuke that's sitting in Megaton and watch myself die.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about this, I think yesterday or something. I like everybody says, you know, New Vegas is the best Fallout game, which I agree. I think it is the best Fallout game, but then they say that 3 is bad.
Yeah,
And I just do not agree with that. 3 is a very good game, a good Fallout game at that.
yeah, yeah. 3's great. I loved it. It was my. Well, I had played 1 briefly, but I didn't know how to play it, so I just gave up and ran out of time constantly. I still
Mm.
don't know what to do in the game, but it's fun to go to the first town and then run out of time. But yeah, like 3 was the first real introduction to the world, see what it's like, get used to some of the characters and the quirks and all the amazing ghouls and how they're treated.
Yeah, yeah. Gob, the first ghoul you meet in 3,
Yeah, poor guy.
and I think you could say, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And he'll call you a smooth skin.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 was my introduction to Fallout too. I went back and played 1 and 2 after and since. But 3 was my introduction into the entirety of Fallout. I hadn't even heard of Wasteland before then. I hadn't heard of Fallout before 3. I think I saw something about it in a magazine back in the day and wanted it for Christmas. Um, and I got it thankfully, and I fell in love. I loved how bleak everything was.
Yeah.
And how it, like, looking now, knowing more on the lore and everything, it's kind of a little confusing why in 200 years no one's really tried to start anything on the East Coast. Like 200 years have passed and it's still just like raiders and a town.
Yeah.
But I did like how desolate it was and how desperate and dark everything felt. It really felt like an apocalypse. And having loved DC my whole life, been there so many times, I absolutely love DC. It
Yeah.
was kind of harrowing to see the mall in
Yeah.
the state that it's in.
Yep. I liked going into the Super Duper Mart for the first time. That was very. I mean, because before that, I mean, you can see Megaton, and that's really all you see before then. You don't really go into any other buildings. But yeah, then you
Yeah.
walk into the Super Duper Mart because you were on a mission to go get some medicine or something from there.
From
And yeah, you
Mortar.
see just exactly what kind of world you're in, the
Yep.
mindset of the people.
Yep. You can go basically one of the 2 places most people go to first in 3, outside of Megaton, is the Super Duper Mart, or there's a school nearby there.
Yeah.
Both of which are full of raiders and like bodies hanging on hooks and everything, and like it's horrific. And that is your introduction. Like, hey, this is the world you're in. It
Yep.
sucks.
But you get to meet if you go to the school, you at least get to meet that iBot and figure out that whole part of the enclave and whatnot. Hear their
Yeah.
propaganda. If you're
Yep.
done hearing the propaganda from the guy inside Megaton.
Yeah, the old man. Yep.
Old man that you wait for him and his wife to leave their little shack, and then you walk in there and rob them blind. Yep.
And Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho was a character that intrigued me right off the bat. And I mean, this was before like smartphones were really big. I mean, smartphones weren't a thing at that point, if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean, we had like blueberries, but that's
Yeah.
a different breed.
Yeah, I still had my, I
Or
think
no,
it was
not
like an
blueberry, blackberry.
Optimus.
Isn't it?
Blackberry, that's
Yeah,
it.
whatever
Yeah.
the heck it was.
I had like an LG Optimus flip phone, like sideways flip phone kind of thing. So I wasn't going online and looking stuff up, but Jericho interested me, and then I figured out later that you had to have bad karma to get him as a follower.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool. Like, oh, I gotta be a total POS
Yeah.
to get this guy. And I wanted him and his AK. That's what I really wanted.
Yep. Yeah, he's fun. I always liked there was the ghoul in the ghoul town. I like to get him.
Mhm.
He's usually he would be who once I get him, I beat the game with him. Like I'm not switching up anymore. But
Yeah.
who else was there in that game? I know, isn't there Lions? You can get the Lions chick.
Yeah. Sarah Lyons. There's Fox. He's a big fan favorite.
Yeah.
The super mutant, but you don't get him till like the end of the game, basically.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to think of who else you can get as a follower. I can't. It's been so long since I played it proper.
Can you get the tunnel snake guy? I know you
I
got to
don't
talk
think
to him
he
again.
could be. Yeah, I don't think he could be a follower. Yeah, you could talk to him if you save his mod, or maybe you can actually. Hold on.
Yeah, I
So
know you got to go back to him if you didn't like just straight up kill him as you were leaving. You can go back and talk to him. He's either there or I think he also could be forced to leave. You could find him out in the waste somewhere. I could
Oh
be wrong.
yeah,
Though. It's been a
wow.
while.
Dude, all this see, this is the one thing I do love about Bethesda games. All these years, I've played Fallout 3 for like a billion hours, okay? Had no idea you could get Butch as a follower, but you can. No idea.
Yeah.
Clover, Cross. Yeah, Star Paladin, Cross. And Dogmeat, of course.
Oh yeah, Dogmeat. Yep.
Yep. And you could join the regulators or the Talon Company, I believe. If you were good or bad, you could do like bounty hunting and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, man. And then, or you could have be a good guy, and then for some reason you have the assassins coming after you nonstop for no reason. But somebody said, "Oh yeah, kill him."
Yeah. And then the DLCs too. Like I think we talked about this recently. The Pit DLC, that is my favorite DLC from that game. Operation Anchorage is pretty cool too, but and Mothership Zeta is wacky. I like that you get to talk to a 16th century samurai in Mothership Zeta.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pit was really, really cool.
Did they ever do Aliens again? I don't think they did them in Vegas. And I don't know about 4. I've done so many side things in 4, but it's mainly from Garvey.
Oh god, yeah. So if you do the Wacky Wastelands perk in New Vegas, you could have an alien encounter. It's not like a DLC thing, but there's a crashed alien ship with, I think, like a few of them are alive. I don't do the Wacky Wasteland thing often. It's just not my thing. But they are in the game. And then in 4, after you get to a certain level, and I think after you get to a certain point in the main story, once you're just meandering through the wasteland because there isn't much else to do, an alien ship will fly over you and crash somewhere in the wasteland. And you could go to the crash location, and there's an alien in a cave, I believe, if I remember right. And he's dead, but you can get his blaster and the ammunition for it.
Nice.
Yep. So they're in all the new Bethesda games.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta play more of 4. But I'm trying to beat every single thing you can in it, and that's forever long. If I don't get like a memory leak because the game is made so well.
Actually, because 4 has so many procedural quests, I don't know. It's kind of like Skyrim. I don't think you could ever really do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do like one of each mission type and consider that everything, I guess. But like, it just never ends.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Garvey. I mean, do 2 or 3 of them to get some more towns, and that's really it.
Mm.
That's all you need to do. I mean, after a while, you can only put up so many towers until you're just like, this is dumb.
Yep. It is fun, especially like I do like to put like one town together in survival mode in Fallout 4, and have it be like my main town, and then I'll set up like outpost trade hubs basically elsewhere throughout the wasteland, so that way I can have supplies everywhere I go, like stashed basically, because fast travel isn't a thing unless I join the Brotherhood, and then I can use a vertibird, which is the dopest experience in all of Fallout.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so frustrating because it gets so many things so right, but it gets everything that counts so wrong.
Yeah, I still need to play the end. I need to see how the game actually ends. I know you get if you do the Brotherhood, you get Liberty Prime or whatever, and he has some fun for you.
Yep.
And that's all I know about it. But you apparently you find out what actually happened to your son and your wife and everything else.
Well, they still kind of leave it ambiguous. I mean, it doesn't take like a brain surgeon to figure it out. Like, basically, no matter who you side with, the end is the same.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 variations that you could do, and you could basically be friendly with everybody, because choices don't matter in that game. So, not that you really have any.
Yeah.
But yeah, you beat it once, you've beaten it, as many times as you need to, unless you want to see like the destruction of a certain faction or something, which you can do. But we know the destruction of the Brotherhood is not canon because of the show now. So,
Yep. Yep. The show, which is a huge hit, mega hit show.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. But yeah, that ending is something.
Man, like I said, like, I can accept that Vegas is destroyed.
Yeah.
I can accept it. But you've got to give me a real good reason.
Yeah. I mean, here's what happened. I'm just going to guess. So you saved the world and you saved the strip, and then you just got bored one day. You're like, I'm just going to shoot everyone. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you just saved and then murdered all of Vegas.
Yeah, and then you just forgot to reload. You just end up auto-saving and being like, screw it, we're good.
Yeah, so like there's a survivor there who talks about some desert ranger from Arizona with a big iron on his hip who just murdered everybody.
Yeah. It was actually the mysterious stranger. That's who it was.
Yeah, the mysterious stranger.
Yep, he met up with his son, and then him and his son just went out there and just started laying everybody out. It makes sense.
No, I legit can't even think. I mean, my brain has been fried lately, but like I cannot think of anything that would make sense to have Vegas be decimated to that degree.
Yeah, unless somebody allowed. I mean, they couldn't take out vertebrates or anything. I was going to say if they let somebody lured all the death claws there, that's one possibility. But you'd probably still see death claws there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like they showed a lot of Deathclaw skulls and stuff too in that shot. The very like the zoom out credit shot, effectively, of that last episode. There was a lot of Deathclaw skulls and stuff, and then the crashed NCR vertibirds, and I think they showed like buildings destroyed and stuff. It's been a minute since I saw it, but I don't think Deathclaws could do that. But I mean, maybe it was the Enclave. I mean, which would suck. I would not like that because we've destroyed the Enclave like what 3 times now,
Yeah.
Twice. I mean, come on, dude. I get like if they have Enclave remnants that are poking around, that's fine. That's totally fine. Have like a strike team here, a hint there, or stuff like that. That'd be cool. But if they just straight up pull the Enclave card, like, oops, all Enclave, they're the ones who did it, I'm gonna be frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be better if they just had the regular Brotherhood have done it. Like the Brotherhood somehow lured all them there, like lured the Death Claws there, thinking they were going to get one over on the NCR, and it just caused a huge, huge battle.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends on how they go with it depends on basically what they pick as canon for New Vegas, because they're going to have to pick something.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it could have been the Legion, but we haven't heard mention of the Legion, which is shocking.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other concern is what happened to the NCR, what happened to the Legion.
Mm-hmm. What happened to Good Springs? That's the real question.
Watch Good Springs just be fine. They're always fine.
Or they're going to choose
the ending. They're not fine.
Yeah, they're going to have you choose that the canon is you sided with the powder kegers or wherever they are.
Powder gangers.
Yeah, powder gangers. Them.
Yeah, just destroyed Good Springs.
Yep. You just look at Doc Mitchell and you're like, nah, I'm sorry, dude, you got to die.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
It happens.
I actually got an idea from someone online. They said that after they do the Dead Money DLC going to the Sierra Madre, you can get gold bars from the Sierra Madre, but only like a few of them, maybe 2 or 3 at most. Because the whole point of it is to give up your greed, and there's like a mountain of gold bars. So if you try to take them all, you're going to die, and that's it. But this guy said he took some of the gold bars, got out, and then went to Good Springs and dropped one of the gold bars on Doc Mitchell's couch.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Guy deserves his money. He revived you from having a bullet in your head. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and did some serious facial reconstruction too.
Yeah, he can make you look however you want.
Yeah.
But then when you get up, he'll tell you that you can beat a death claw with a switch. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I love what he says with your name. He's like, that's not what I would have chosen for you, but okay.
Yeah. Does he say anything else? Like, is there like a correct name?
No.
No. That would have been cool. Because like,
at least not that I know of.
Zelda, you can name Link whatever the heck you want. But there are, I mean, I could just be on drugs right now, but I swear there is one of the games you can enter a certain name and then you get like special things out of it, like an extra heart or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I can't remember which game that is. And I could be completely wrong. It might be a Game Shark thing, to be honest.
I know, I mean, I can't name one, but I know for a fact that there are some games out there that if you name your character something, you could get something for it. Like it could be a cheat or it could be like a buff at the beginning or something. Some games have that. I know I've seen it. I just can't think of an example of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Dragon Quest is another series where your character is just the hero. And in the newest one, you're the luminary, which makes that really easy. But like I found out my favorite game, Dragon Quest 6, there actually is a canon name for your person. Like the guy has a name, whatever the heck it is. Saw it in that art book I got, the Toriyama Dragon Quest art book.
Okay.
Yeah, they were naming all the characters, and it's like, really? Really? You didn't decide like make that like a default thing, like they do. Like I know they didn't do it back in the day, but modern games, they will just pop up like, your name is Ike or whatever, and you can change that if you like.
Yeah, or they have a title for you.
Yeah.
Like, again, Fallout, like the Lone Wanderer, the Sole Survivor, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they kind of leave it open. Or Dragonborn for Skyrim.
Yep. Or in case of Starfield, Shaggy Rogers.
Space Dude.
And then Shaggy Rogers came back for, what was that, Dragon Dogma 2. He's just making appearances everywhere. I mean, he is the strongest like WB character to ever exist, which means he could just take on Superman, but it happens.
Yeah, Superman, our favorite character here.
Yeah, he's the best. Best character ever.
The best. I mean, he is unbeatable. We love him here at Talk of Better Worlds. Superman can beat everybody. No. Yep. Superman, I can't say what I feel about Superman.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Once this new movie comes out, I probably am going to watch it. I do like James Gunn's movies. So I'm just hopeful this will be a story I can at least watch. Like I can watch the Cavill ones. I can watch the Superman Returns where you find out that he knocked up Lois Lane, saw she was pregnant, and dipped out of the planet for a while. That's got to be the best. It's like that is the most accurate Superman thing ever, and they show it in the Family Guy, and nobody gets like it's actually a reference. They're talking about this movie.
I had no idea that was the thing.
Yeah, because he comes back and finds out that she's pregnant, and it's like a shock. It's like, nah, dude, you can see through people. You saw she was pregnant.
Yeah.
It just so happened, like, oh yeah, we hooked up. Now I have to go.
Oops, gotta go.
Yep. Yeah, I think I left the tea kettle on back on, my home planet.
Yeah, you mean your home planet that's destroyed? Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just fine.
Oh, Mass Effect has a Superman reference, actually.
Really?
It does, yes. There
1?
was... I forget which one it was. Hold on. Give me a second here. Might be some dead air, sorry.
Yeah, no, I never knew about that.
It's in the Codex.
Things. Oh. Let me talk about something that is related to Superman. Here we go. So I'm doing I'm working on a video right now for comics, and I'm going to bring up basically history of comics. So I had to go out and get one, like pick one up from the library. And there you go. Best one. One Punch Man.
Oh, nice.
The best version of Superman.
Hold on. I'm trying to find this reference here. DC 19, no, that's not it. I don't want that. Basically, if I remember right, I'm just going to give you a rough idea. If I remember right, basically, on one of the timelines, I think, or somewhere in the codex, they reference a ship that's like DC 19 something in reference to the first Superman comic book. And then they say they picked up a young baby in a pod that was the last remnant of his race, and his planet was destroyed. And he shows like superhuman abilities in Earth atmosphere, effectively.
Yeah.
So they imply that they picked up Superman, and the ship is named after the first DC comic with Superman, effectively. So that's the reference in Mass Effect.
The DC 1938.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
See, Reddit knows everything.
Yeah. Except when it doesn't.
Yeah.
The cesspool.
Yeah, the wasteland that is Reddit.
There you go.
World of Reddit.
It's not wrong. Oh man, all the Reddit raiders and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I try.
I really think we should become doomsday preppers.
Well, like the crazy ones, or like.
Oh yeah, just super crazy. We're just gonna lose our minds instantly. We're just gonna drill a hole straight through my basement floor, and we're gonna build a shelter. It's gonna be a good 4x4 box, and we're just gonna have to like kind of curl up and stay in there. It'll be good. It'll be good. We'll have some Cheetos.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
What else do you need after the apocalypse? You know?
Yeah, maybe we'll get a easy bake oven and some chicken nuggets to go in there, so we can have some nuggies and some honey mussy.
Yeah, and don't forget some like I don't know, like bagel bites or something.
Yeah. Dude, I miss bagel bites.
They're still good. I had some
what
kind
we
of
need.
recently.
We need them in Fallout. We need them to make their own, because all their foods are just beautiful, like sugar bombs.
Yeah, dude. I legit would eat sugar bombs. Like even 200 years old, like I would try sugar bombs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a ghoul, you love sugar bombs too, because you can make beautiful drugs out of them.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish. So in the show, they show the main ghoul, whatever his name is.
He's just called the Ghoul.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, so his name is oh, come on. I forget, he had a name when he was a person pre-war. Yep. I forget his name, but the character in the show is literally just called the Ghoul.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he takes that yellow stuff. I really hope they're going to relate that to being like part of sugar bombs. Like that's what it goes into.
Like an extraction from sugar bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an extract. It's going to keep him like ghoulified and not losing his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people had a problem with that. I don't really care. I mean, like the Fallout lore on ghouls has always been a little wishy-washy, like even from 1. And like we never really knew what made a ghoul feral or what kept them not feral. In 3 and New Vegas and stuff, that kind of imply that like if you keep your mind on a task, you're not going to go feral.
Yeah.
But I'm totally cool with them having some like weird, probably post-war or extracted from pre-war kind of drug that they could use to ensure that they don't go feral, even if they can't keep their mind on something.
Yep. Yeah, I hope someone modded that into the games for PC.
That'd be cool. They modded in his gun.
Nice.
For Fallout 4 and New Vegas at this point. I hope, and I know it's not going to happen, but somewhere in my mind I still hope that the next Fallout game lets us become a ghoul once we hit 1,000 rads, but have it be like a 5% chance of becoming a ghoul.
Yeah. Or just let us let us make our character. Let us pull a Skyrim. Let us make someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we don't, like the Courier was dope because it's finally someone who didn't start in a vault. We didn't have to worry about that nonsense. Yep. It was just, you're already out there. So yeah, let us be a ghoul. Let us be something just different. I mean, probably not a super mutant because that would be one. You're probably a little too OP. You really could take on a Deathclaw just by boxing it to death. But yeah, I mean, let me be a ghoul. Let me be fat. Like, let me change my character some.
You could be fat in Fallout 4.
Okay, yeah, I didn't play around with the character customization. The default character for the guy looked like someone I knew, just like an older version of them, and that just freaked me out.
I like to make my guy in 4 like slim fit, kind of, not like super jacked, but like he's in good shape, but he's not super big. Like that's my general body type. But like, yeah, you could make him super fat. So yeah, why can't we make a ghoul? A super mutant would be too much, but a ghoul would be pretty cool. And I think every Bethesda Fallout game, and well, the 2 Bethesda Fallout games and the 1 Obsidian Fallout game all have mods that let you play as a ghoul.
Yeah.
So people want it.
Yeah. So we won't get it.
Yeah, no, we'll never get it.
I mean, we want Fallout 5, and, we might get it.
Dude, how did they drop a show? Drop a Fallout show that blew up, okay, and not have a plan for another Fallout game?
Yeah. Oh, they have a plan. It's just going to come. They're planning on it coming in like 20 years.
Yeah, like, did they just think they dropped the show and like, I don't know, a couple thousand people would like it? Like,
yeah. Yeah, it feels like they kind of had no hope for. I mean, I can't blame them because Rings of Power, whatever the heck it is, it went over, fantastically well. Everybody loves the movie or the
garbage.
Show. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they're probably looking at like Amazon and being like, we run a risk of this happening. So let's just play it safe and see what happens. But then they get Walter Goggins to play one of the main characters. And it's like, well, you have a hit right there. He is
god among men.
He's a good actor. He's great. I loved him in Justified, and that's when I first saw him, and it was just like, yeah, he's a great actor.
Yep. He is always amazing, and he plays a lot of similar characters from what I've seen of him, anyway.
Yeah.
But like, it works for him. It really works for him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's like the main guy of Justified too. He was in that Western. Oh, what is it? Deadwood.
Yeah, Deadwood. Yep.
Yeah, Deadwood, and then he was in. Then he played Raylan Givens in Justified, and it's like same exact character, just different time period.
He was in The Mandalorian too, as that sheriff of that town.
Yeah, and he played Raylan Givens pretty much.
Yeah, I like him too. And sometimes like being typecast like that doesn't work, and you get trapped kind of. But I think for Walton Goggins and for whatever that other guy's name is, it really works for them.
Yeah, Oliphian I thought it was Oliphian. It's pronounced differently. I saw him in some interview, and I was like, "That's how you say it." It's like Oliphant or something like that.
Oliphant. That's it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's amazing though. Once I saw him in Deadwood, I was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's great." And then I saw him in Justified. I was like, "You just made my dreams come true." I went out and got all the books just because he was in the show.
Yep. I mean, so they've got a really good thing with the Fallout show, and I mean, we know. Like Rings of Power, I think was the exception for Amazon. Because
Carnival Row was fantastic show. Even though they had the pandemic kind of screwed them, and they had to take like what was it 2 or 3 years off between the first and second season, which killed the whole show. But still, they came back, did that second season, and ended it. And that's just
the boys.
Amazing. Yeah, the boys.
They also picked up The Expanse, and I thought where they ended with it. I think they ended at a terrible time because the Expanse books get absolutely insane at the time that they ended the show. Like they missed what I think is just the coolest part of the Expanse books. But after they picked up the show from the Sci-Fi Channel, they were still very faithful and they did a great job with the show. I was very impressed with how they did the Expanse. So they know how to do a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see them do more sci-fi things. They're great with their sci-fi shows.
Yep. I want a lot more boys.
Yeah. Well, season whatever is coming out soon ish.
I think 4,
Yeah, I have no clue. I just know I've watched them. I put them on and I'll just binge watch a whole season, and then it's just like, okay, well, start the next one now.
Yeah.
Wait.
There's that spin-off show too. I've watched like an episode. I think it's pretty interesting, but I haven't, giving it a real shot.
Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about that.
Yeah, the chick in it, she can like cut herself open and use blood as a weapon.
Oh, dope.
So she like makes like blood spikes and stuff. It's a really cool idea. It kind of reminds me of like a good blood magic system.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the character's pretty cool. The premise is interesting. I think she's in like a superhero high school kind of, or like a superhero college basically. Except it's the boys, so stuff goes really bad. But yeah, it looks good.
So let's talk about something else that probably looked good. Let's talk about this movie that we watched. The wonderful Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Hit movie. You know, everybody loved it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. So tell me about it.
So there's a mining company who I think is run by a Kiwi. Like he's either like an Australian or a New Zealander. His accent was weird though. I couldn't quite pin it. But did they say that they're out in like Colorado or something? Because it looks like it.
All they said was at the very beginning when they were talking about main guy, he was at the 69th annual Livingston Rodeo. So Livingston, somewhere.
Livingston, so somewhere. It looks like Midwest kind of. That effectively. But they have this mine, and they're blowing up parts of the mine to try and go further. For I think it was uranium, for some reason. Iridium. Oh yeah, iridium. Like okay, whatever. There's iridium in the middle of like Colorado. Okay,
makes sense.
And makes sense. But they're blowing up the mine, trying to go further in, and lo and behold, there's dinosaurs in the mine. Who would have thunk?
It happens all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know, you're just mining like you do, and you run into some prehistoric monsters. You know, but. Also, did you notice at the very beginning, the guy was like, "Come on, you apes!"
Yeah.
You catch that? Like, come on, dude. Leave that with Starship Troopers. But they find the dinosaurs. Greed takes over. A guy wants to keep mining. They blow a giant hole in the ground for some reason, and release a ton of dinosaurs, including herbivores, which for some reason were turned into carnivores, I guess.
Yeah.
And they attack a town and they try to survive. That's the general premise of it, I'd say.
You're missing the best part of it.
What?
The love triangle. The love story. It is so great.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, so for that, the love triangle, you have Val Walker, who was our hero. He was in the 96th annual Livingston Rodeo, where he was in the championship round. He got bucked off, I guess. They decided not to show it, just show like random clips of somebody riding a bull.
Yeah, they didn't show it.
Yeah, so he falls off, and apparently he broke his shoulder, I think it was.
He got stepped on, from what I gathered.
Okay, yeah, so his shoulder was destroyed. And we don't know what happened, but I'm guessing he was dating this girl, Sky, who I can only assume punched him in his shoulder as like oh, you goof. And instant reaction, he just punched her back or something. And she called the sheriff, who is like this much older man than Sky. And apparently they get together afterwards and they run Val out of town. But yeah, so Val comes back and we have this beautiful love triangle of Val wanting to be with Sky, but Sky's with the sheriff. We think maybe her friends imply it, but we don't know.
They're definitely sleeping together.
Yeah, they live in the same house at least. I mean, we got that much out of it.
But it's a complicated relationship.
Yeah, and the sheriff is a very, very great actor.
Oh Lord!
But we did have a star in the movie. I was kind of surprised, and he wasn't too bad. Eric Roberts, playing Val's dad. That was kind of shocking, but he played a drunk pretty well.
Probably. Well, no, I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah, that was great. And then what else do we have? Quaid, who was an anarchist.
Yeah,
that was interesting. You had the blonde girl who I don't know her name, the one that wasn't Sky, who when she was like staring down the face of a raptor is just deadpan.
Yeah, the one who just knows how to operate an AK apparently
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and who could shoot a bow like really well.
Where did the bow come from?
I don't. So if I remember right, and I was very tired, I think that what's her name? The chick who doesn't have a first name.
Oh, I wrote her name down because I couldn't remember it. Not Sinclair.
Sinclair, yeah. So Sinclair, I think, pulled it off the wall of the bar that they were in.
Oh, so she did do something. I thought she just talked and then, was disposed of.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, yes, but she did grab the bow off the wall, slowly grabbed an arrow, and had this weird look in her face, but didn't say anything. And it was like a long shot of just her, like, slowly grabbing this bow and arrow. Like, okay, what are we going to do now? I mean, I get it. It's a bow and arrow, but, like, can we move on, please? And then they figured out that the dinosaurs have, like, methane blood.
Yeah. Yeah, which I didn't catch on to that at first. I was like, okay, so he used a methane detector, which is basically a speed gun where they put like some extra sheet of metal on the top.
Dude, that was actually a camera. That was a security camera with a handle attached to the bottom.
Oh god, that's even worse than I thought it was.
It was so bad.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but the dinosaurs are attracted to methane because apparently, according to science,
they're attracted to propane.
Oh yeah, propane.
Because they're made of methane.
Science, man.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I don't see what you see as ridiculous there.
No, I mean, checks out. Yeah, and they blow up if you shoot them with tracers or fire arrows, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, and we find out some interesting things. So if you're ever being attacked by a dinosaur, because dinosaurs are super weak, you can just hide inside the washer at a laundromat, and it can't crack the glass at all. And neither can a guy walk in who's wielding dual AKs, firing directly at you in that glass. It won't even touch it. Won't even leave a mark.
Yeah. We also learned that if you're standing in front of a raptor in a doorway, and your father is on the other side of that raptor with a shotgun, and he shoots the raptor, you won't be hit at all.
Yeah.
At all. No. Buckshot just is stopped by raptors.
Yeah, of course not. There was also another scene I liked. It was when basically all hell was breaking loose in the town.
Yeah.
And you see these two girls and their mom and a raptor stand on the front yard. And the two girls are standing right next to each other looking kind of worried, but not really scared or anything, as their mom's literally being eaten alive by a raptor. And they're just kind of sitting like, huh? Oh. And they look over at the camera and then look back. It's like, this is great.
The director did not give them much info because they were just standing there like they were watching like a slow car go down the street or something, not their mom being eaten by a raptor.
Yep.
Oh man, and the CGI was the best I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
hands down.
Oh, when he gets on the Triceratops at the end, and like it's going fast, you see him like twitching out. That was fantastic.
Oh man, I really liked. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed this, but when they blew the hole in the ground, like the giant hole, and the before all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
There were 3 guys standing there, or no, sorry. 4 guys? Yeah, it was 4 guys, or maybe 5. 2 of them were in those like hazmat suits. Okay. Yeah. And then there was the one guy who like killed the dinosaurs beforehand, the AK guy.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 other guys, I think. And one of those guys was standing there with like an 1860s like hat on, okay, with flannels. So he looked like a miner from like back in the day. And he was holding a pickaxe. And he's just standing there holding a pickaxe. Like they have charges on the ground about to blow a hole through this cave, and this dude's just standing there with a pickaxe. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, bro?
Well, I mean, if a dinosaur comes at him, he's got a pickaxe.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looked like one of those, like, I don't know. Like, you ever see those pictures of miners, like, during the gold rush and stuff like that?
Yeah.
How they have those caps that are, like, flopped up on the front, but, like, really floppy in the back, and they come to a point, kind of. And it looked really disheveled and stuff, and he was wearing, like, a flannel. He just looked like a miner from the gold rush, like, 1800s, whenever. And that to me, that got me because it was just the most ridiculous thing. Like we have like explosive charges. We're gonna blow a hole through the earth, okay? And dude's just standing there with a pickaxe. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So
10 out of 10.
what kind of score are you going to give this movie?
What was our score system again? Did we write that down?
So we had Exterminatus for bad. We had like that's just terrible movie. Natural 1 for it's not the worst thing, but not great.
20 skill check.
Yeah, skill check pass for was like, it's not the greatest, but it's decent movie. And then nat 20 for just actual gold.
I'm gonna give it a nat 1. Because I definitely think there are a lot of movies out there that are god awful. And that one was at least entertaining for how stupid it was. And like I said to you, it was shot competently, at least.
Yeah.
Like the cameras all made sense. The lighting was good. It was they used a good film or a nice HD camera for it too. Like it looked good enough. A lot of the shots that they had for like establishing shots and B-roll footage of like mountains and stuff like that was pretty. They had really good sets. So, not really good, but better than most sets. So yeah, I'll give it a nat 1 for like the slightest touch of competence in a sea of crap.
Yeah. So the thing that wanted to make me hate it at first was when very beginning of the movie when Val's driving his truck down the highway and they zoom out and show the front of it, and they have the O of Ford like kind of dangling there as if it was like nailed into the car, like it's someone's house or something like that, their house address. And I was just like, why? Just remove it, dude. You already have like the outline of where it was. Just remove it. But it was complete like CGI'd on there. I think it looked weird.
Oh man, yeah, the CGI was so bad.
Yeah, it was basically the same thing I could afford. So I'm pretty sure they did it on some video editor, some cheap little thing.
Honestly, we could probably find something better.
Yeah.
But what would you give it?
Yeah, probably about nat 1 because it wasn't the worst. It was entertaining. I was rooting for the main guy, especially when he saw that one raptor coming at them and he just like let go of the reins of the horse and suddenly had 2 pistols and just took it out with 3 shots. Bow, 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 dead. I was like, okay, we're on something.
Yeah, there's a lot of gun mess ups in that movie too that really bothered me. Like if you're like interested in guns, that you notice it and it's like what like the one scene, the chick who just knew how to use an AK, like middle of nowheresville USA, and just knows how to use. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe her parents taught her, so I don't know, but she was holding the AK where she had her like ring or middle finger through the trigger guard and on the trigger, and was holding it with just one hand, kind of like having the trigger rest on her finger. It's like, okay, you're going to blow your foot off. Like, have fun with that. And then another scene was the guy took a Glock, looked like a Glock 17 or something, dropped the magazine, pulled the slide back, put the slide forward then, put the magazine back in, pulled the slide back, and the slide locked in place, even though he didn't have his thumb on he didn't have anything like that would have made it lock in place. With the magazine in there, it shouldn't have locked in place, at least as far as I know. But it locked in place. A little stupid, but outside of that, I mean, yeah, it was competent enough, I guess.
Yeah, it told a story. A story.
They told a story. Of all the movies, it was one.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week we'll have to watch another fun movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have any ideas?
No, I was kind of looking. I mean, we could do Furiosa, do an actual good movie.
Well, that'd be cool.
Hopefully good movie. I have faith in it.
I mean, the worst Mad Max movie was the first one, in my opinion. And it still wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was slow, kind of. I don't know. It was a bummer for a good part of it.
Oh yeah, it was real slow. I mean, that's why basically the dude who I forget his name. I always forget his name. The guy who created it, behind it, the director and everything.
Yeah.
He kind of just said you don't have to watch one. Like start off with the second Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
I just do. That's where the story really begins, and because it changed so much too between 1 and 2. So, but yeah, I think Furiosa is going to be really good. I have hope in that.
Yep. Yeah, because the last one, Fury Road, was pretty awesome.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, I know I was kind of iffy on that one. I was like, oh, they're bringing back an old IP. It's probably not going to be that good. And the game for PS3 was just fantastic. So I don't really want this to be ruined. But yeah, they kind of surprised me. It was decent.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know why that game didn't take off.
I think it was the time frame it came out in. It came around like some big hitters. It was just horrible timing. Like they sent it out to die, kind of like most movies get sent out to die.
Yeah, and like Titanfall.
Yeah.
Sent out to die.
Twice.
Yeah.
Like that was upsetting.
Yeah, dude. I love that Mad Max video game. I know it clashed with the movie. It doesn't really fit very neatly into the timeline of the movies. Yeah. But I know I and most other people seem to have accepted it as like kind of a slightly different timeline kind of Mad Max game. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't think they'll ever touch it again, but I'd love to see a sequel for that or just another Mad Max game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, if they could make a new one, they should. Who made that? What was the studio?
Warner Brothers.
I mean, Warner Brothers. They are focusing on wanting to get back into games. They want live service, and I don't want a live service anything.
No. Live service is probably on the way out. That's my call.
I want an unalive service.
All right, let's see. So who made this game? Hold on. I'm bringing it up. Avalanche Studios with Warner Brothers as the publisher.
Yeah. Is that the same Avalanche that did Hogwarts?
I
know there's two. There's two Avalanches.
Yep, they did Hogwarts, Suicide Squad, Mortal Kombat 1, Gotham Knights, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, apparently.
Oh, that's cool. It's like you've gone back and forth. Like, here's a good one, here's a bad one. Here's a good one, here's a bad one.
Yeah, they did the... or no, that was Monolith. Oh, sorry. No, never mind. Okay, so no. I take that back. You click on the Avalanche Studios for Steam, and it brings you into Warner Brothers, not Avalanche. So these are all WB properties. So who knows what else Avalanche has done? But they did do Hogwarts. I can confirm that they did do Hogwarts.
Yeah, and that's a 10 out of 10 game for me.
I really like that game.
God, I got so mad when I waited for it to come out on Switch. I got it. I played through it like crazy, just nonstop playing through it. And then like a week after I beat it, you have the CEO come out and be like, yeah, so you know what we're going to do? Since our live service games are doing so terribly, we're just going to focus on that and forget these single player experiences. That's just a waste of money.
That's just a waste of time.
Yeah, it was just the best selling game, but you know, trash. It didn't make us enough.
I think people are finally starting to at least talk like they're done with live service games. We'll see where their money goes, but I at least online, which online is not always a great measurement for how the general populace is feeling on anything.
Yeah.
You don't want to go Twitter brain, but like people who stay on Twitter all the time think that Twitter is the world.
Yeah, totally is.
It's the world. Yeah. I mean, even politicians at this point. Anyway, but no, we're not going to go down that road. But I think that it seems that the majority of people are starting to really get fed up with live service games, and we've seen failure after failure after failure with games like that. But you have really good ones too, like Helldivers. It's a live service game. It is, for all intents and purposes, a live service game.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting more hate recently, even though PlayStation did backtrack on their like PSN thing. It's still getting hate. And Ghosts of Sushi Roll, it got a bunch of hate too.
Yeah, it's you have to basically log into PSN to play the online portion of it.
Yeah.
Period. Not single player, just the online portion of it.
Yeah, because of that, people are going on like Steam and just like trashing it, just trashing the game for the rating, just
Yeah.
because the online part needs that. And I mean, I can pretty much guarantee most of the people doing that aren't going to play the online anyways. They're just hating to hate.
Yeah.
Haters
It's the
gonna
same
hate.
thing. You look at like the Steam forums, which is an even worse cesspool than Reddit, let's say. But the Steam forums, you go in there and like you could actually see everyone who comments on anything right next to their tag, name, whatever. They have a little symbol with like a mouse with a little wire coming out of the front of it. Okay. That symbol indicates that they own the product that they're commenting on. So you could actually see who owns the game that they're talking about. And a lot of people, especially the ones that say the dumbest stuff, don't even own the game.
Yeah, that's why I hate like Megacritic, or what is that? Is it called Megacritic? Metacritic.
Metacritic, yeah.
Yeah, Metacritic, because you go on there and like see reviews for movies, games, anything, and it's just people who are just hating on it. And you read their post, and it's like, did you watch it? Did you play it? Did you ever start it?
Yeah, of course not. It's like we were talking about that with the Fallout thing, with the Fallout show. People all mad about the Enclave and or the U.S. government / Enclave and Vault Tech being in bed together.
Oh, they would never do anything bad. They're
have you played a Fallout game, dude?
I mean, I manage my own vault. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like I said, you know, they've never touched a single terminal and read a single word in any Fallout game, ever.
Yeah, well, reading's hard.
Reading is very hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I have these books sitting next to me, The Road and On the Beach, and I've never read them. What are words?
Oh yeah, it doesn't have pictures. Who's gonna read words, bro?
Yeah, I just watched the movies and bought the books because I want to look intelligent.
Yeah, you just sit there and go somewhere and open it up and just kind of like flop through it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you do with those, right?
Yeah, I sit in a cafe or like in the front of Barnes and Nobles and like act pompous about the fact that I'm reading a book. I'm an intellectual.
Can I bring my pipe in here?
Yeah.
No, but it's so with the Ghost of Tsushima thing, I mean, I think dumbs are gonna dumb, and I think the majority of people probably don't have a problem with it. And like me, I mean, I have PS5, I have PS4, I have a PSN account. I mean, not the live, not the paid stuff anymore because I'm not paying for PS Plus with that price. But I don't have a problem with it. I literally, I could boot it up and probably hit one button and be done, and everything's good. So I just think dumbs are gonna dumb, basically.
Yep. So let's talk about another post-apocalyptic wasteland. Let's talk about Microsoft and Game Pass. So, I mean, that's how I see it. It's tearing itself apart. But,
Xbox.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's become. Sadly, I mean, it used to be a powerful thing, and now it's a joke.
It is sad, honestly.
But so there's talk that now Call of Duty is going to hit Game Pass day one.
Mm-hmm.
And people are thinking that's going to be a good thing. And like, yeah, I can see for a person who has Game Pass, they're probably going to be like, well, they're going to say free access to it. But if you're paying for it, there's nothing free about it. It makes me so mad. Like, oh yeah, this month's free games. Are you paying for them? Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's free. Not here.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're going to put that on there. And like, I've heard other people say like, let's just have them put like a backlog of Call of Duty on Game Pass. So then all these players can just jump in, start playing these games, and hey, maybe they're going to get some microtransactions. So I can see them making money off that. But they think it's going to help Call of Duty as a brand itself. And I don't understand that logic. Like the company is not going to like their Xbox is going to pay them X amount. They're not just going to be like keep giving them like money hand over fist because you put out a new Call of Duty. I see it as the way they've done every game with Game Pass. It's now going to make less than it could have.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get destroyed. Like we had a game that was a hit with people. Like it had like 2 million players or something like that at one point, the Hi-Fi Rush.
Yep.
And it's gone because it didn't sell any copies. And it's like, well, yeah, you put it on PlayStation after a while. It might be on PC. I don't know about that. But it's like, if you would have put it like on PlayStation, on Xbox, and if it could work on Switch and PC, dude, you're going to sell so many more copies. You're going to make money. Like,
Yep.
I don't know what happened to Game Pass and Xbox where they're just like, let's start this process where we just don't make as much money as we possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, they put all their eggs in the Game Pass basket, and I think they still expect. I mean, I'm not on the board of Microsoft, so I don't know, but they're just like basically looking from the outside in. It looks like, and they've actually kind of said at some points that they have anticipated that big titles on Game Pass will sell consoles.
Yeah.
And so they banked on that with Starfield. They thought that having Starfield exclusive to Games Pass would basically sell like 1 million consoles, that everybody would buy up their Xbox, whatever. And it just didn't work. And I think it's partially because, one, Starfield wasn't worth it, let's be honest. And two, there's nothing else. Like, Game Pass has a lot of games, and it's a really good deal for the player. It is. But it's a really bad deal for the developers. It's a really bad deal for Microsoft and Xbox as an entity. And it just, the console doesn't have enough exclusive stuff on it that draws enough people in. Look at Halo, which was the powerhouse of gaming, period, at its height. Halo like had Times Square packed with people for a new release. I mean, like it was the game franchise. That was when Xbox was at its height, and now Halo Infinite, I mean, I'm sure it has a lot of players. I don't play it. I did the campaign and was furious. I really don't get, like nerd angry at games because of how they are, but that made me actually angry. Because the writing was it's some of the worst writing I've seen in a video game in a long time. And then I showed you the anti-aliasing thing. If you have a 4K monitor on a computer, how it looks like someone just rubbed Vaseline all over the screen. Yeah. So it looked like hell. The story was trash, and the multiplayer has been garbage in Halo for a long time, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like it, but in my opinion, Halo multiplayer died when Reach went away. And there, these big IPs that they have, like Gears of War, it's another big one. They haven't been putting anything out that is enticing enough to have people get Game Pass and buy a new console. And they've been banking on that time and time and time and time again, and it's failed over and over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean, I think Xbox is an apocalyptic wasteland at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I'm going to have to say that's probably it for today's show.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to wrap it up. But yeah, that was a fun conversation on the post-apocalypse, because that's got to be probably one of my favorite genres, topics, I don't know what you want to call it.
Genres, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, my favorite games from the past few years have all been post-apocalyptic. Like, once Wasteland 3 came out, I was playing Wasteland 2 right before then. But then Wasteland 3 came out, and I was sold on that game. I played it through it twice before deciding, like, I should probably move on to something else. It's definitely something I want to do. I want to talk about, look at doing a video of, like, other post-apocalyptic worlds that, for people who've watched the Fallout show, because I'm sure a lot of more people have done that than have maybe played the games or something like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially with it being such a hit.
Yeah, you've seen that, at least from what I've seen on like a lot of forums and Reddit and stuff. A lot of people have been coming in saying, I've never played Fallout. I watched the show. What Fallout should I start with?
Yep.
And then everybody argues over it.
Yeah.
I say 3. Start with 3.
I say 76. It's the most lore accurate thing ever made. You can't go wrong.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, really, if anyone happens to stumble on this who hasn't played a Fallout game, play 3 first, and then play New Vegas.
Yep.
And then play 4. I'm not going to say not play 4. Play 4, but just don't expect it to be a good Fallout game.
Yeah. Or, I mean, heck, you can even do Vegas first and then 3. Those two, I'd say switch. If you're going to do 4, it's cool to see that progression from 3 to 4.
See, the reason I say 3 first before New Vegas is because New Vegas is vastly superior in its gameplay systems and mechanics and like crafting and stuff like that. And if you play New Vegas first and then go back to 3, you're going to be like, this sucks. I don't want to play it. Like So play 3 first, I think, and then New Vegas. But if you want to, do New Vegas first, and if you can get into the mindset of like, hey, this game is going to be worse in certain aspects than New Vegas, then yeah, play 3.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, this week, Monday, we have a show about other worlds and just IPs in general, just different worlds that we were fans of. Thursday, we have something coming. I can't think of what it is, but we have a video coming up on Thursday as well. That'll be a fun one.
Probably the NCR one.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so we have some things coming. Everybody should be keep an eye on those.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next week, when you guys can catch us again. We're here every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody, if you guys want to come check us out, we'd much appreciate it. Until then,
Yeah,
you guys take care.
Yeah, have a good day or night.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.